So if you guys have been playing Raid for a while, you must have seen that there are a ton of different rares that you get. A lot of these rares are generally pretty bad, like I've gotten some rares that are pretty useless. However, there are a few that you can very easily get that are amazing and that can really help you out a lot. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say if you're just starting Raid, you can use my link in the description and you'll get amazing stuff. You'll get Tower Guard at the start, level 15 you'll get Ugos, so clicking my QR code or using the link in the description can really help you out. However, in terms of the rares, there's actually a lot of them, and a lot of them can be useful. I'm not going to cover all of them. As you can see on various websites like ayumilove.net, you can find like tier lists to see which ones are good or hell hates. However, I've gotten a few that I've actually used, and they're very easy to get. I've actually gotten multiple ones over the past few weeks, and they can be good. So, to start it out, I want to talk about the Apothecary. So, you guys can see this one. This is like the S tier rare, and this is really one of the best rares in the game. Now, initially, I got like a few of them. I didn't really like his icon. It's kind of different, like the icon and the character himself, but I sacrificed him, I didn't really know, and then I got him, and then I used this guy, and he's been so amazing. He's helped me through Doom Tower, he's helped me in, even in PvP. I haven't really used him in PvP because I don't really have gear that is all that good. However, best thing about rares is that you can get multiple of them, and you can use them as books to empower them. However, I've gotten books for this guy, and I've empowered him, and he's really one of the best rares in the game. He's got this attack skill, which is not really that great. However, he's got this heals the target ally by 35%, this heal, which is amazing. Like, this heal alone can help you almost solo things, even with himself, although he doesn't do that much damage. However, it can, for some people, like, it can heal entire champions. And then he also has this turn meter thing, which is amazing as well. The best thing about him is that when you get the data books, which are not that hard to come by, like, you can actually really decrease the cooldowns. I mean, this boon of speed, he has only 3 turns. It increases speed, and it also fills the turn meters of everyone. And however, the best thing about him is that he has a 2-turn heal, which is amazing. You'll see just in a little bit when someone does some damage. Oh, yeah, I don't have this one leveled up, but let me just show you. Like, he doesn't do that much damage, of course. He's not really a damage dealer, he's essentially a support. However, the damage he does deal, I mean, the heal he does have is really one of the best in the game. For this one, I mean, it's not a lot, but he can literally, like, when you're doing faction wars, like, he can heal people for, like, full HP. It's probably gonna take a while for you to do everything, but yeah, you can definitely win with this heal. The next one I want to talk about, because everyone knows about this guy, I'm gonna cover a few a little lesser known ones, but this is Kael, really one of the best characters in the game for the start. Now, I know this is a starter champion. I haven't actually got it here as a starter champion. I messed up and I just liked Galek more, so I picked him instead of Kael, and I managed to actually get him from a shard. But this guy is literally, I mean, it's kind of crazy that he's even a rare because he can do a lot. He has this single damage, which is okay. He has an 80% chance of placing a poison. However, he has this acid rain, which like obliterates waves. Like, this does so much damage. And also the poisons, and this doesn't even have that many turns. I've actually managed to use Kael for the Nether Spider in Doom Tower. I mean, he essentially one-shots the minions with this AoE attack. Of course, this is for the lower levels, but the best thing about Kael, as I said with any rare, I mean, you can very easily level him up. However, I've been using him as a farmer, as you can see here, and let me just show you. I mean, it's insane how much he can do, and everyone can get him right at the start if you pick him, but there is also a big chance that you can get him from a drop as well. As you can see, like, he clears the entire wave. Now, this poison also does quite a bit of damage. But let me just show you, like, once we get this, like, essentially clears the entire wave. Like, this guy can farm campaign in, like, 30 seconds with some champions. And when you put him on auto, he does so much. You can use him for PvP. A lot of people use Kael for PvP. You can use him for Doom Tower. You can do so much more. So, if you get Kael, don't sacrifice him. If you get him in a drop, you can use him for some things, but just don't sacrifice him. Now, another one I want to talk about is Dilgol. So this one is actually not that popular. He's not really ranked as an S tier rare, but not only do I like the way he looks, like he's really an amazing looking champion for a rare, but he's also actually quite useful. So far, I mean, I only have him at level 50. However, I managed to use him for faction wars, and he can actually do quite a bit of damage. You want to build him for critical damage, you want to build him for speed, but essentially he has this one single attack which decreases speed, which is not really that amazing. However, this shoot spray, attacks all enemies 2 times. He has a chance of decreasing accuracy, which can do quite a bit of stuff. It can really help you for the faction wars. And he also has this, like, he attacks 3 times, which also has decent damage. Now, of course, all this depends how you build him up. Personally, I might get him to level 60 because I just like the way he looks. I don't think he's an amazing character, but he can actually help you out quite a bit. He can actually be quite useful. Let me just really quickly show you this because I've got a Dwarf Crypt going on. Let's get this one. Now, these guys are actually high level, so he's not gonna do a lot of damage, but at the start he essentially clears entire waves with his AoE attack. As you can see, he does decrease accuracy. He essentially did this to all the mobs, which can actually help you out quite a bit. So this one kind of depends on what you really want to do. Like, if you want to level up dwarves, if you don't have a good team for faction wars, like this guy is really good for faction wars with his AoE attack. So if you want to build him up, you can actually build him up to level 60. I don't think he's like end game amazing, but he can be quite useful. I've actually managed to get him 2 times from Sacred Shards. 1 time I sacrificed him. So if you get Dilgol, don't sacrifice him, he can be quite useful. Alright, so the next one we gotta talk about is Coldheart. And if you guys played Raid for even a little bit, you must have heard about Coldheart, which is one of the best rares really in the game, an S tier rare, and really, together with the Apothecary, literally the best rare in the game. Now, the reason she's so amazing is that she can actually be used for nearly endgame stuff. She's essentially almost like a legendary, but she's a rare. She's got this A1 attack, which is not that amazing, but it does attack 4 enemies at random, so it can actually help you clear waves. However, she does have this AoE attack, which can actually clear waves, but most importantly, she has this Heart Seeker, which attacks 1 enemy and decreases the target's turn meter by 100%. Like, this for bosses is amazing. I've managed to level up all her skills with the books, so we're talking about level 5 stuff here, 4 turns. Now, initially, I kind of built her as a general PvE stuff. I use her sometimes for clan boss, I use her for like various other PvE stuff. But if you want to use her for the Scarab King or some of these like bosses that have max XP, like that can be very useful. You can even use Destroy Gear, it can help you. But this thing can like essentially decrease the entire turn meter of the boss, and it can do a lot. Of course, you want to build her for critical damage. I don't have the best set right now. Ideally, you want 70% plus on the critical rate. You also want a lot more speed and accuracy. I'm still waiting for a few sets to gear her up, and I'm probably gonna switch some of this gear, although so far it is decent. Now, let me just quickly show you what I'm talking about. You can see with her AoE skills, she essentially clears the entire way. This is brutal 12-3. However, as you can see, this attack also does AoE damage, so A1 does AoE damage. This can be annoying with some bosses, like it can trigger some things, but it can also be used for single target stuff. But as you can see, like this A1 does pretty decent damage. However, I want to show you the main reason people have been using her. As you can see, like look at the skill meter. Now, if we shoot, let's shoot this one. Almost drains all the HP and essentially resets it. Now, this isn't all that useful for bosses. I mean, this isn't really all that useful for campaign and all that stuff, but for some bosses, if you combine this with Destroy Gear, it can be amazing. Alright, so lastly, I want to talk about the Frozen Banshee. Now, personally, I haven't used her all that much. I've heard all about her. The thing is, though, I've only got her to level 50, and the gear I have on her is not that amazing. I've got some okay-ish lifesteal gear, and I also got some speed stuff. However, the thing about the Frozen Banshee is that she's not really that amazing for Faction Wars, she's kind of useful for PvE. She's mainly a clan boss type thing, like she mainly does clan boss damage. She's good for dragon, she's good for clan boss, and all she does is essentially poisons. So she attacks one enemy 2 times, has a chance of placing a poison. She also has a chance to place poison sensitivity. She also has the attack one enemy to fill the turn meters of all allies, so you can kind of combine the debuffs. And you also need good accuracy for her, you need speed, but she can actually be quite useful. Now, as I said, she's not really a campaign farmer, she's not really good for clearing waves. However, I've got the Frozen Banshee multiple times. Let me just really quickly show you what I'm talking about. As you can see with Frozen Banshee, she has this ability. As I said, she's mainly good for bosses, she's not really that amazing. However, she has this poison sensitivity. Now, at the moment I'm just leveling random food characters, so of course this is not that great. I mean, there's not gonna really do much here, but she's really amazing for dragon. And she also has these 2 abilities, which once again are single target stuff, but she's gonna fill the turn meters. So when she does this, when we got debuffs on characters, she's gonna fill the turn meters of the allies. As I said, for clan boss, this is going to be amazing. So that is mainly for some of these rares. As I said, there's so many rares in the game, you can find a tier list. Not all of them are amazing, a lot of them are kind of useless, or they can be situationally useful. For example, I've got this Metal Shaper, which is okay. I've leveled him up, I've used him for Doom Tower to get through the shield boss, but I wasn't able to really use him that much because I wasn't able to gear him up. You really need him at level 60. Some of these characters kind of depends. Apothecary can also be useful at level 50. You can use him at level 60. Kind of depends on what you want to do. If you need some character, for example, like the uncommon one, I got the Armiger, which can be useful for a boss because I got him in a destroy set. You can use him. You can use him at level 50 at some occasions, but if you're talking about survivability and some issues, you're probably going to have to get them to level 60. However, characters like Kael and Coldheart can really be used even for nearly end-game stuff. Now, if you're just starting out raid, feel free to use my link in the description or just scan the QR code you have on the screen. You'll get amazing stuff at the start. You'll get an epic champion Dilgol. You'll also get Ugo when you get to level 15. You'll get a whole bunch of XP boosts and all this stuff, so feel free to click my link in the description. Now, I want to thank you for watching this video. Let me know what else you would like to see, and see you next time.